So I'm pretty sure about a month or two ago, we got a brand new roadmap for The Sims 4 until the end of the year. And one of them says expansion pack, more specifically neighborly expansion pack. And in my eyes, I feel like we need new apartments, new ways of living, being able to rent our own houses out to other people and be our own landlord, that I feel like it could be something like that. And so today I thought, why not build apartments? Why not build townhouses in The Sims 4 to pretend and prepare myself for that neighborly expansion pack that we might be getting either this month or next month. Because personally, I think we all desperately need a new way of living, especially living in townhouses one of these days in The Sims 4. So ever since we got the roadmap for The Sims 4 for the next couple of months from September to December, I've always thought in the back of my mind, neighborly expansion pack, apartments, townhouses, renting out, being your own landlord, because it showed like a envelope with a mailing address, some keys with a house on it, and I'm like, what else could it be? Like it can't be like something out of pocket, out of random. It has to be like townhouses, landlords, renting out. Because in my mind, I've always wanted this. I've always wanted to have a way to like rent out my house to other Sims and earn other income, like passive income. And we've had this already before in The Sims 2. If you remember a long time ago, I believe it came with The Sims 2 University where we could like rent out houses or like rent houses and rent townhouses. It was like one of the best things in the world. And I remember all the time, whenever I sent my Sims to university, they would always live in the dorm the first semester, freshman year. And then after like that, they would move into a house to rent. And then after they graduated, they would move into an apartment that came with apartment life or move into a townhouse. And all the time, I thought they were so fascinating because it was 4 different houses on one big giant lot, but they were able to rent each and every one of them to different Sims. And then the bills will be lower. You had a social community. You just had more fun like to do. And all my life, I felt like The Sims 4 was missing something. Like we have apartments already that came with city living way, way back in the day. And then we got other apartments that came with eco lifestyle, 2 different styles, more raggedy, run down. But over time, as you kind of make the world of Evergreen Harbor more greenified, the apartments around you change to be more eco-friendly and modern looking. And I like the progression of rinky-dink run-down apartments to more greenified modern apartments through gameplay, but I felt like we needed something more than that. And we all know bills in The Sims 4 are outrageously expensive to the point where your Sims are always broke no matter what you do. I mean, you can sell your lemonade on your food stall table that came with Home Chef Hustle and earn about at least 2,000 simoleons a day or multiple times a day, which is actually kind of a good benefit, by the way. Either way, I think bills in The Sims 4 need to be like changed some way where we can have a way where we can have reduced bills based on what we do, amount of items, amount of lights, amount of whatever we have. And I don't know. I think there's just like new ways that we need to live. But let me know all your thoughts in your comments down below. Give me your ideas of what you think the neighborly expansion pack could be. Because I don't think we're going to get it this month at all because it's near the end of October. So I'm thinking that we'll probably get it in November, like mid-November. We'll get a trailer, probably the beginning of November, trailer somewhere. I don't know. But there's no way we're not going to get it in December because we got to get some new stuff, some new content. We have until December to get new extra stuff. But I've always wanted this. I've always wanted a new way to live in The Sims, rent out properties, because I like being poor in The Sims on my own terms, but I also like being rich on my own terms. So if I can find a new way for my Sims don't have to get a 9-to-5 job and earn passive income from like their other endeavors, like making videos or, you know, making music or being an actor or whatever, or stealing, being a klepto. I like that stuff. Sometimes being poor is better than being rich in The Sims. IRL, not so much, as we all know, but I built this townhouse inspired by and for the attempt to have my Sim, Aspen Marie O'Connor, and her newfound, you know, hopefully husband, if they don't get divorced or broken up in that time frame, Jack Collins, into one of the townhouses that I'm building today. So I've only actually furnished one building and the other two are technically empty but ready to move in, like the bathroom and I think the kitchen are already furnished. So you'll be able to like move in and change it how you want. So in due time, I probably will wait until we actually get like some type of expansion pack or mod or whatever that we can live in one property but not have to pay the whole lot bills. Because imagine you're a sim living on this specific lot without any mods, without any like expansion pack that has landlords. Imagine the bills on how much you would have to pay, because already my sims are owing like 2,000, 3,000 simoleons every so often on sim bills alone for their one little house. Whether it's big or small, they are paying out the wazoo. But I've always thought to myself that Aston Marie needed something new, a new way of living. She's only like 38 years old. She's not even in her 40s or 50s yet. But I think ever since she had gotten her father back into her life, it's kind of changed her way of living. And they haven't seen her in like 15 years, might I add. 15 years is way too long of not seeing a parent. But I think it's like her father was not always there. And he had like a new way of living when he got divorced from Aspen Diane a long time ago, back in like the 80s or whatever. And they kind of went back and forth. It was like an on and off relationship because Aspen Diane was famous, but also a doctor, and Royce O'Connor wasn't famous, but he was just like an artiste, musician type of person. So on and off relationships is what they had. They didn't break up until like Aspen was like in her mere 20s, basically. But I will say though, building these townhouses kind of get me inspired to do other types of builds where I want to be able to build like a retirement home for my Sims. I feel like elders in The Sims 4 don't really get enough representation or enough like, I don't know, anything actually in The Sims. Like we have Parenthood, we have Growing Together, we have other packs, but it's not like elders are the forefront of The Sims 4. Like they're usually just there in the background with a pension and teeth and cool outfits, but that's basically it. But I mean, you can like also send your elders to university to get another degree or a part-time job or a full-time job even after retirement, but I see no point in playing with them. So I think there should be like a better way of playability with elders. So this is also the other reason why I'm building this townhouse, because Aspen is thinking of moving away from Newcrest, where she currently lives, into San Sequoia, into the San Sequoia Sunshine Happy Times townhouse unit. And it's only actually a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhouse on her unit. And the other units are technically just like whatever you want to do with them. But for Aspen's sake, she had in mind thinking that Winston would eventually go to college and he would come back home from college like during the summer months or the winter months, and he would have a room by himself that he could stay in during that time. And I've always wanted to have that like for my Sims. Like I love Discovery University. I love the idea of that pack, even though it is extremely difficult to have a social life, a job, a child, or anything, matter of fact, or just you're a loner, single Sim with no kids or no job, and 4 credit classes, ridiculous. Um, but I do like the struggle and the hustle of that pack, I will say. And Aspen has been a very caring, giving Sim all her life, ever since she moved away from her hometown of Newcrest when she was born in Newcrest, moved to the city when she was like 15, went back to Newcrest with her mother, Aspen, and then went off into Bridechester to go get her degree, moved back to Newcrest because her mom died, and that was even worse. Even though they didn't have the best relationship, she had a relationship with her mom. But I think that ultimately, even though her father wasn't in her life for like 15 years straight, they rekindled after a while, because finding out that Aspen was pregnant, not with 1, but 2 kids, she was like, hey, Dad, I know we haven't talked in like 15 years, but I think I want to give you some good news and share with you what's been going on in my life. I have a son named Winston, and I'm having 2 more kids as well, and I'm getting married soon. And I think it's like the mere moments of family is like really important to me. And so I kind of live vicariously through that in my Sims gameplay. Like me and my parents and my grandparents, we are the best of friends. We talk all the time. We hang out all the time when we can. And it's always fun to like be around the people that you love. And Aspen wants that more often with her father and also with Winston and other things. Now, we don't know, and I personally don't know, if Mr. Royce O'Connor had any flings back in the back in the day when like 15 years is a long lifespan of anything. He got a dog, which is, nice. But if he had any other relationships, we would love to know what that would have been and with who and from where. Because all we know, Aspen is a single only child. She could have a half sibling somewhere that we don't even know from Royce. I mean, he was a player, but he had his moments of being, who he was and what he was doing. But I think ultimately we can all say that Mr. Royce was a good man when it came to child support payments after like 18 years or so. But I really adore the idea of these apartments. I built this on stream a long time ago, a couple, like, I think a weeks ago, and it took me 3 streams to do, 3 or 4 streams, because I get distracted a lot, but also I get inspired to do something different, and chat gives me suggestions of like, put this, put there, add this, change the wallpaper, add the furniture here, change the orientation, like rotation, whatever. And I'm like, this is perfect because I'm one person and I usually don't have a lot of ideas in my head, but chat usually does. So I thank chat. So if you want to go watch all the VODs of part 1, 2, and 3, and maybe 4, I'll link them down below in the description. So that way you can kind of get an idea of what went down in each and every stream. But I think this is probably the largest build that has taken me the longest time to do. I'm not joking. I have about like 9-10 hours of footage that I had to cut down to like 39 minutes or whatever. But it was worth it. It was worth it kind of going back all the footage that I had, pick out what I want to keep in, what I wanted to take out, because normally what I do is always do like a real-time tour towards the end of the build, so that way you can see it in real time. But I'm telling you, I really adore how it really turned out from the very beginning to the very end. But I will say though, townhouses are a new forefront to The Sims. We do have townhouses in like the vicinity of The Sims 4 in the background that you can't really like go to or enter in because no one lives there, and they're usually just shells of a build. And I feel like the Sims team was like hinting to townhouses where we could be our own landlord one day, from like way back from City Living and also Eco Lifestyle. And then like San Sequoia, there's like some different houses that look like townhouses in the vicinity that like, can we have it now? Like, think about it. You're a Sim, dirt cheap, broke, poor as ever, wanting to start a new adventure for themselves and be able to be their own landlord and see where that could take them. Sustainability, credibility, and also making friends here and there. So I think ultimately what I'm trying to say is that townhouses are something that we desperately need one of these days. But I wanted to go with something that wasn't too big or too small, but something that was decent size, especially like for like townhouses in The Sims 4, because at first I had built this on a, like I think a 30 by 20 lot in San Sequoia, but then I realized the lot was a little bit too small. So I moved it to a 40 by 30, and I now have a bigger space, 3 units, and a little side yard. Because every time I play The Sims 2 Apartment Life, which is my favorite expansion pack, and Long with free time, I would always build my own apartment. And I would always have like a little side yard with like swings and gardening and movies or whatever. And they would always come downstairs and like do some grilling here and there, chit chat in the hot tub, do some garden, like whatever they were doing, they would always have a fun time. And I'm always looking for a sense of community in The Sims for me. And especially like my Sims are very introverted like me. So they don't get out much, I don't get out much. But I think having a way for them to have a sense of community is good. But I will tell you this, I am not joking. I played The Sims 2 a long time ago, and I still play it to this day, which I need to do an update video on a current Sim that I'm playing right now. If y'all remember a video that I did a while back ago with my lovely Sim that I desperately hate and still hate even though he's dead, I think his name was Daniel Pleasant. Yeah, Daniel Pleasant. I think he has like four or five kids with like 4 different people in Pleasantview, which is ridiculous. But the mere moment that he almost died, he ended up having a baby with his next door neighbor, which is crazy that he barely even knew. They were in the same career, but after the next day they had, the baby, he died. So he didn't get to meet his own child at all, which was even awful. But he was a very sleazy, crazy man. But I will say though, Daniel Pleasant paid money on time for child support, and that's all I cared about. But when he died, he was like, here's all this money to the sim that he barely even knew, and also all the money to the one he was going to marry. Left no money for Mary Sue, left no money for Nina Caliente. No. Or Nina. I think it was Nina. Either way, I'm losing track of all the sims that he has had kids with, but he gave the most money to the sim that he was going to marry and the last kid that he had with. 2 days later of gameplay, not only did my sim, a responsible adult that they are, they went to work. They asked their next door neighbor, because with apartment life, if you didn't know, if you are friends with your neighbors in your apartment or townhouse, they can act as your babysitter, which I think is a phenomenal feature that I think we should get back one of these days, especially for city living. With the amount of apartments we have, we should have a way where our neighbors could be our babysitter. But then again, we could just call them and say, hey, come over, something like that. But when I asked my Sims next door neighbor to act as my babysitter, we were great friends. She was saying, sure, I will take care of your baby. I will do what you need to do while you're at work. I said, sure. Okay, cool. This is great. I go to work. And then my Sim is like freaking out, or I'm freaking out basically, because I get a notification saying, you cannot leave your child unattended or it'll get taken away from like social services. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. What's going on? I'm looking to find my neighbor. They're nowhere in the apartment whatsoever. And then 2 seconds later, because I'm doing speed 3 at this point, freaking out, trying to get my sim back to the house, did not show up. The neighbor was like in there from the whole entire time. They said, I'm done for the day. And I'm like, what do you mean you're done for the day? It's been 4 hours. My child's hungry, smelly, and alone. And the CPS was like on their way to pick up the child. So neighbor literally dipped, took the money, and ran. And then CPS came over, took my child from their little high chair back to their little van and drove off. My sim comes home mere seconds after that, realizing that their baby's gone. I was like, this is not happening. This cannot be happening. So I beat up my Sim's neighbor, moved out of that townhouse, took all the money that I had because that was technically Daniel Pleasant's townhouse. So I took the money and ran as well. Moved in with Angela Pleasant, which is basically was going to be Angela's stepmom that moved in. So we moved in with Angela for a hot minute or two, found a new apartment that I built, and we rekindled with our stolen lost child because Angela, the good woman that she is, decided to take in her step sibling into her home from a previous relationship that her father had before he died. It's so weird when you see the family tree because it's so confusing to talk in real life, but I lived for that drama. Angela hated her stepmom, even though she wasn't even a stepmom at all, soon to be. Hated her, kicked her out, said, take your child with you. They moved out into a new townhouse apartment that I built, and now they're living happily ever after. But in a span of like 3 sim weeks, so much happened. Daniel died. We had our child taken away from us. We beat up our neighbor. We moved in with our hopefully soon-to-be stepdaughter. Didn't. Moved out. Too much went down. I need to make a whole current household video to like recap of everything. So you'll see a Sims 2 video coming soon this week for sure because there's so much to explain. But with all that being said, I love the feature of having where you can have your neighbor become your babysitter in The Sims 4. And I mean, we have like the whole plan stay over type of feature that came with Growing Together, but we need something within like base game or something because we can have roommates in The Sims 4. And I think it's like really nice that we can have roommates, we place an ad or do something of like, hey, live with me, be my roommate or whatever. But I don't know, Sims 2 drama is like a whole other level. And I'm kind of carrying my Sims 2 drama to my Sims 4 gameplay, especially with Aspen Marie of how her life has been going on with her father, her son, her newfound relationship, her friends that she barely even knows. Like she's in the Paragons club right now that came with Get Together. And I kind of want her to disband the group or make her own group because she's getting up there in those years. She's not even 40 yet. But I want her to make her own gardening club one day, especially when Winston goes off into high school or university. Because that way I'm having a newfound friendship for Aspen, a newfound of life experience for her, and seeing where her life takes off. Because She's a doctor. I think she's a general practitioner. Only needs to treat and cure 2 more patients before she gets promoted, which I'm working really hard on very, very soon. But she's also pregnant right now with twins. So when she moves into this townhouse, it won't be for a very long time. I'm thinking probably halfway through her adulthood is probably when Winston will also be in college at some point. And I've learned through my friend Ocean Sims, who made a video a long time ago of why she plays with aging off. And I mean, I can understand why, but I've never done it myself because I do like seeing the progression of Sims aging over time without my control. But now I'm like, this family, the O'Connor family, is like really special to me that I don't want them to age on the game's time. I rather age them on my time because Aspen is like getting close to elders. Like she has like 111 days because I play on long lifespan, but it's like she has like a really, 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 really good friend who's like 68 years old right now and used to be really good friends with Aspen Diane. And when Aspen Diane passed away, before she passed away, she said, "Hey, can you look after my daughter, Aspen Marie, while she's, struggling to move into the new house in Newcrest?" And she said, "Sure, sure, sure, whatever." And I'm like, I really want to like build that relationship together and see how far I can take it. So I might play with aging off so I can enjoy the life experience on my time because I really don't like where like infants specifically and toddlers have a very short lifespan, especially on long lifespan. There really isn't much you can do because I want to experience all the milestones. I want to experience all of like the cool aspirations, the skills, the friendships that my Sims build. Just like see where it takes off for all of them because I really want them to have a newfound way of living. And I mean, I think this is because I love my family and I love being around my family, but I also think I have way too many mods in my game that results around family gameplay. Like I have the realistic childbirth mod by Panda Sama, I have the real estate mod by Sim Realist, I have the pregnancy overhaul mod by Lumpio, and then the education overhaul mod by a Deep Indigo. Like there's so many mods I've added in recently that I've always wanted to have, but didn't technically know how to add them in and like use them in my everyday gameplay. But now that I have my own personal family that I'm playing, it's like more natural and it feels good. So I'm going to be making, and I think I've already uploaded that video of my top 10 mods that I like using in my Sims 4 game for realistic gameplay. So if you haven't seen that video, I will link it down below in the description along with my current household video for Aspen and my Sims 2 video that I posted a long time ago, but so many videos to post. But I love townhouses. This is probably one of my best builds I've ever done in my entire life. And I want to do another one. And I'm going to do a nursing home or retirement home at some point and post it and being able to like play with elders again. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. What is your favorite life stage in The Sims 4? Because mine right now, at this current moment, are elders and adults and infants right now. One, because I'm getting close to playing with infants very soon with Aspen, but I'm also experiencing elders in a different way through gameplay, and it's been really fun, and I'm very happy. Like, I've been playing The Sims for 23 years now, and still going to, but I'm playing it in a new way. I'm playing with Aspen, who's like an adult, getting up in the years. She's in the doctor career. And I have not played the whole doctor career at all since Get to Work. And I don't know, I feel like I've been making YouTube videos since I was 14 years old. I've been on the internet for so long that I've never had like a Sims session by myself because I've always been like recording it or I've been like trying to stream it or post it somewhere. But I never had like an actual sit down of just playing the game. I did it when I was younger and I wasn't on the internet. But as soon as I got on the internet, I was always recording something. But now I finally have time and I'm making time for myself to actually play the game and not record it 24/7 or stream it 24/7 and just play it on my own terms without anyone's like opinion or judgment or whatever. And it's nice. It's very refreshing. So it's just been nice to like play the game, and I'm really passionate about my Sims gameplay. And if you can't tell by now, every other build I've ever done, that like in the past couple of weeks, has been for my own personal gameplay. I've been talking about Aspen, Winston, Jack Collins, the adult sim, and then Jack the dog, which I'm very excited because we're gonna have a puppy birthday very soon for Jack's second birthday, and I'm so excited. I love pets. I recently installed a mod by Deep Indigo, and it's where pets can have careers. And if you remember, a long time ago, back in the Yeon olden days of The Sims 2 pets, where your cats and dogs could have jobs. And they didn't get that many levels. They only had 3 levels, up to 1 to 3, and I think dogs had 4, but I can't remember. All I know, they could be like a service pet, a celebrity pet, like an actor pet or whatever, and then something else. I just know they had 3 different careers and they could get promoted with different carpools. And I found it so fascinating that I thought it was so weird that with cats and dogs from The Sims 4, we didn't have a way where pets could have jobs. And I'm like, where is that? Like, where's the correlation? Where's that feature? We need it back. Because I remember way back in the day with cats and dogs when it first came out, I felt like it was something was missing. It was the small animals, but in the back of my mind, I was thinking, can we have careers in the game as well for pets? I mean, we can't control them, and we couldn't control them in The Sims 2 without a cheat, but I always felt that pets needed something to do other than dig holes, scratch furniture, and bark and meow at other sim humans 24/7. Earn their keep, you know? Earn their keep in the household. Sounds kind of crazy and redundant because adult, like IRL pets don't have jobs unless they are a service pet, like for police force, or, they are a service animal for like therapy, a therapy animal, something like that. Then like have like a job, a role to do, but they don't get paid for it because they're pets and don't need to earn a living. But I think it'd be kind of cool to have some type of role, like a service animal for a police force, or a therapy dog, or a therapy cat, or some type of way where they are more useful than being in the household. And I want to make a cat cafe. I want to make a place where animals can be there to thrive and have fun and be therapy pets for Sims in need. And I think everyone needs like a companion at one point. And for me, I would love a pet one day. I've been wanting a pet for years. I've been convincing my parents for years for a pet. I'm getting close. But no, I think honestly though, with all that being said, I think pets need more. And I think we all can agree on that. And I have a lot to say. And I feel like this whole video is so long because the whole speed build portion is 31 minutes long. And I've never in my life had a speed build in years this long. And I feel like the more that I talk, the more delirious I get and the more I start making not sense. But I feel like I'm making sense. I'm grown. I'm getting close to 30. I'm making sense more and it feels good. But I think I'm getting more inspired to do more storytelling and thinking of ways to make my gameplay more fun for me and especially more fun for videos. So I think with all that being said, the neighborly expansion pack, I'm really hoping that it will be like we can like rent out like our house to other Sims to live in for like a couple of days or months or whatever, or having a way to be our own landlord and build more townhouses or being able to build our own apartments. That's what I want. I want to be able to build my own apartment in The Sims 4 because we're very restrictive on like the general hallway layout and the interior layout of the apartments for city living and eco lifestyle, that we need more control. But this also has got me thinking, imagine if we got the neighborly expansion pack that we could be our own landlord. We already know the mod community is wickedly talented. CC creators are wickedly talented and they have so much imagination that I already know. There's a mod by the Simrelist where you can like have a real estate mod and own multiple properties. I did it in my recent like current household video where Aspen bought another house for Winston, who's a child by the way, but he will live in that house as a teenager. But I like being able to own multiple lots and like being able to make them vacation houses and rent them out to different Sims. That I think there might be an update, a major update to that mod that might break it when we get the neighborly expansion pack. That there'll be a newfound way of renting out different properties and renting out different units, but in a fun, unique way that it could make it where we can have our own Sims B&B or like or some like hotel system, because there's so many possibilities for this actual thing to like make it work mod wise that I think we need like a current system in place to make it really fully functional. I mean, there's like a hotel mod out there already, which is really cool. I haven't used it, but I think it's like a cool way to like have something already set in place to make it more upgradable over time, that we can have more ways. Sims B&Bs, better hotels, better apartments, townhouses. Like, the possibilities are endless when it comes to the in-game code when we get certain packs or kits or updates to make the mods more efficient and more expandable that we could never have thought of for the future. But I will say though, I hope the Neighborly Expansion Pack will be a way that we could rent out townhouses and build our own apartments and be our own landlord, because that will make it so much fun for gameplay for me and hopefully for other people around the world. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and go into the game and show you the townhouses in real time, because I did cut out a few things here and there that you did not see that I want to show you within the game so you can capture the full experience of what I was trying to do. So as you can see, the whole thing has finally come to it. So as you can finally see, the whole thing has finally come together. The Sunnyside townhouses in San Sequoia on a 40 by 30 lot is finally here. And I love this townhouse build that I did. It took way longer than it should have been, but I'm glad I took way longer to execute my plan very well, especially with the idea of Aspen living here, maybe in our halfway of adulthood or elderhood. Not really sure just yet, but I really, really, really love it. And I only furnished one side of the townhouses. Like, the other two are empty, but they are ready to move in with the bathrooms kind of like planned out. So if you ever want to actually have your Sims live in here, decorate how you want, how you please, go for it. But the whole idea is that this is a way for a new way of living, for your Sims to live in a different place, different mindset, and also different layout, especially having neighbors. And I mean, technically you can kind of make it work where you have 8 Sims, like 2 live here, 3 live here, 2 live there with like a pet or whatever. So each unit could be filled in with 8 Sims in one household. That way you're not like struggling with the bills, because I'm telling you, this will cost you a fortune if you live here alone with one Sim. I'm not joking. Your Sim will be broke. But with that being said, on the side of the townhouse, I really wanted to make it where community was like the picture, the idea, the essence for the Sunnyside townhouses. So over here we have like a little station with some hay bales. I have a little swing set for the children, some picnic tables, some gardening plots, a little bird feeder, of course, because birds, San Sequoia, it just makes perfect sense. And then over here we have a little gazebo area with a fireplace in the middle during the cold months. We have some chess tables and then a little sand pit over here because kids can technically play in the sand. And I think it came with an update for base game when we got Island Living a long time ago. And I love that we can have any sand placed down and Sims can play in it just like normal, which I think is really, really nice. But then I also have like a little play table and some toys on the ground for whoever comes by. But I will say for each and every backyard, I kind of kept the last 2 empty for your own interpretation. And then on the back here, we have more garden plots, chess table over here, a little kiddie pool for Aspen or whoever, grilling, picnic table, and some recycling bins. And then on the major inside, on like the first floor, but technically the second floor, each level is a different floor, and I wanted to make it where it's only 2 levels rather than like 3, because it would have been too big. But I will say this is the first floor. And down here we have the main bedroom for Aspen Marie, and I used a lot of the stuff from the Modern Luxe kit that we got a couple of weeks ago or months ago. And I will say that kit is really, really, really good. Zarela collaborated with the Sims team on the Modern Luxe kit, and they did phenomenal. On the art prints, the bed, the nightstands, the whole like decor side of it all is really, really rich. And it works very well with the luxury party pack or I think vintage glamour. So you can do really well with all three of those packs combined, with making a very nice, decent sized house with style like Sims. Now, this bedroom has a lot of clutter, and the reason being is because Aspen has a lot of things amongst her different properties that she has lived in over the course of her life, and I wanted to make sure it reflected that in this bedroom. So we have a little plaque here, some toilet stuff, a little statue here, her recorder player, and her swords that she got from her mother a long time ago, bookcases. We have her private bathroom in here, which is very small. And then in here, we have the general hallway for all of the knickknacks and paddywhacks. Over here will be Winston's room when he goes off into university and comes back for like winter break or summer break or whenever he wants to come by. But this will be his bedroom. And then over here, we have another bathroom over here. Now up here, we have the kitchen, and I had built this way before we got the Home Chef Hustle stuff pack, and back then I didn't think we would actually ever get a stuff pack ever again, but the fact that we did makes me want to remodel this whole kitchen with the Home Chef Hustle. But we used a lot of Parenthood for the counters and cabinets, and of course with the general idea of family, I wanted to kind of use Parenthood for this type of kitchen. And then over here we have a little bay window seating, of course a little like console table near the entrance, dining room with a lovely print, a laundry room, and then our small little rinky-dink living room, and of course our art frame TV from the Modern Luxe kit. I'm telling you, that kit was the best kit of all time, because the fact that you can have an art piece and a TV at the same time is pure genius. So I'm in love. I didn't want to make the whole house too cluttered where it was like over the top and like kind of too crazy to live in, but I wanted to keep it very simple, especially since Aspen, Jack Collins, and maybe Winston and Jack the dog could live here over time. But I do eventually want to like renovate it a little bit better whenever I get a chance to, when I get back from my trip. But I will say this whole townhouse experience of building one in The Sims 4, thinking that we might be getting a neighborly landlord type of expansion pack later this year, this townhouse will become a reality for me and also for you all. So we're crossing all of our fingers for that to happen this year. But with that being said, if you want to go ahead and download this townhouse build, it's already up on the gallery. My origin ID is just SpringSims, all one word, SpringSims. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But either way, as always, I do hope you all enjoyed today's build as much as I did. I thoroughly enjoyed building this townhouse, and I'm so excited for Aspen to move in one of these days, especially with Winston, Jack the dog, and Jack Collins in the future. But as always, I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!